Good morning, everyone. My name is Marcella Riddick.
I'm Stevie Gray.
And we're on the road today. Thanks for being here. We just got on a road. We're driving through Colorado, and Walter doesn't want a podcast this morning. How you doing, dude?
He's struggling a bit. We're going through the Rio Grande National Forest right now on our way to Mesa Verde National Park. We were just in the Great Sand Dunes National Park last night in kind of central Colorado, but right at the border kind of New Mexico and Colorado on the south side.
Yes, but how can you be central and at the border?
Central in terms of west-east.
Got it.
So, middle of the state.
South central Colorado.
There you go.
We are officially on the third leg of our trip. We just spent a week chilling, and we are again now back on the road. Leaving Colorado today, we thought it wouldn't be right if we left Colorado without a podcast. Yeah. Especially since this forest is absolutely beautiful. What?
Yeah. And I don't think we've ever been through this forest.
We have not been through this forest.
We've gone a similar way to get down to New Mexico, but this is the first time we're cutting in this direction, which is why we're really excited to check out Mesa Verde National Park, because we've never been in the area to check it out.
Can you do a check of what national parks we've done on this trip and which ones we're heading to?
Yes. So far we've done Death Valley in California, Great Basin in Nevada. We have done Glacier National Park in Montana. We have done Yellowstone in Wyoming, the Grand Tetons in Wyoming, Rocky Mountain National Park in Colorado, the Great Sand Dunes National Park in Colorado. Then we're going to Mesa Verde today.
Also in Colorado.
We're going to go to Zion National Park, Bryce National Park, both in Utah. And then on our way back, our 11th and final national park will be Joshua Tree in California. And that'll give us, we just kind of planned that last night. We, again, have kind of been spontaneously planning this trip as we've been going along. And we added Joshua Tree as our final stop because one, it's one of our favorite places to go in general, but two, it allows us to get home in just about 2 hours. And so we don't have to drive, I think it was 7?
I think it was almost 7 from Zion, which really threw us off, and it's not the nicest drive, in our opinions.
The Las Vegas stretch
is tough.
We've done this Colorado to LA trip many, many times because we went to school out here, and you always have to go the Vegas way, kind of no matter what direction you're going. And so it's kind of the thing we've seen, I'd say, a little bit too much of. And
but
so
we did.
It's less exciting.
We went through Arizona once and took the 10 all the way in, which was pretty
beautiful.
Cool.
Went through San Diego, picked up a used microphone from some dude on the way up.
No, we got the boxes that time, I thought.
I got the Rode. We went to the dude at
Balboa Park?
Yeah, Balboa Park.
What a good time.
That's cool. But yeah, so here we are. Today we're going to talk about food.
Food!
Because we love food.
We love food, and we've been trying to figure out when to really dive into food. We've mentioned how much we love food in terms of connecting with culture. And Colorado is such an interesting place for food. There's a lot of different types of food, and our favorite food that is our favorite, not genre. Is it genre?
Oh, I don't know what you're trying to say, so I don't know yet.
But foods and categories, is it by genre?
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
Is Italian food a genre?
Technically. We could just call them genres.
We'll call them genres. Maybe that's a weird music thing that we're doing, but there's not a lot of Native American food in the United States as a whole. We've been trying to do a lot more research to make sure that we're not just claiming that. But we were super stoked to go to Tocabe, a Native American eatery. I think that's the full title of it. And there's 2 of them in Colorado. The very first one was one of the first meals we ever ate out at in Colorado. Absolutely phenomenal. Think Native American food in Chipotle in terms of how you serve it.
Yeah.
Absolutely phenomenal. For us, it's very similar to Indian foods in the depth of spices and the depth of textures or variety of textures. Anyway, we love Tocabe.
Super tasty.
So we drove into Colorado on a Tuesday, and we were like, do we go down to Denver, get Tocabe now, or do we wait until we leave on Monday? And we didn't check the hours at all.
Closed on Mondays and Tuesdays. And truly one of the things we were looking forward to the most in terms of food. Like one of those lists that we were like, we gotta get that one.
Yep.
No matter what, anything else can maybe be tossed, but we gotta get Tokabe. Because you can't get Tokabe anywhere else.
Ooh, tunnel. Okay, let's go through the tunnel. Stevie and I are still children and hold our breath in tunnels.
I don't know which one of us is like forcing the other one to do it.
I don't know.
I think we're pressuring each other every time.
It's kind of fortunate and unfortunate. It's a fun game. Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3. I don't even know how big it is. Love that awkward silence for everybody.
But anyway, we didn't get to go to Tokabe.
We didn't get to go to Tokabe. I was pretty sad about it.
We did eat a lot of, we were in Fort Collins, we ate a lot of food that we kind of were nostalgic about. That's something we realized, and we realized this while we were there studying for 4 years, but there's not a lot of depth of genres there.
I think you gotta use another adjective.
There's a lot of bar food, I guess is the best way to put it. It's like burgers, like grilled meats and bread, and that's about the biggest, in terms of like super high quality stuff. If you want to like get a bunch of like solid food, all of it is kind of in that same genre, and then there's like 1 or 2 restaurants per every other genre that you might want, which doesn't give you that much variety of choices. So
Fort Collins is known for its massive amount of restaurants. There's a stat that we used back when I was in admissions at CSU, that if you took everybody in Fort Collins, they could eat dinner at the same time. And what Stevie and I were laughing at yesterday was that everybody would be eating dinner at the same time and mostly be eating the same thing. Because it is a lot of the same food.
But there's a ton of restaurants.
And so we first made our Fort Collins food list as we were leaving, we didn't know we were leaving at the time, but as we were in our 4th-ish year there, we started a Fort Collins food list because we really like food and wanted to kind of highlight some of the places that we like to eat and some of the places that are low-key.
And a solid food list makes it easier to choose what you want to eat. If you don't know, it's nice to have the options kind of laid out in front of you.
Yeah, so the origins of the LA food list are actually the Fort Collins food list. And the Fort Collins food list is a Word doc somewhere. I guess we could update it maybe.
I used it this week.
Did you?
Yeah, I updated the font. But the LA food list is on our website. It started as similar to the Fort Collins food list. When we came back home at the beginning of the pandemic, it was kind of like, let's just like, I made a crappy Google Doc of like my favorite places to eat. And then as I met some new people at USC in our programs that had never been to LA before, they were like, what are the best places to eat? And that kind of inspired the Google Sheet version that is broken down by genre and different categories and whatnot.
Is it genre? I feel like it's going to bother me.
I think it's genre.
Okay.
I feel like I usually call them genres of food. We can have that debate as well of the best genres of food, or our favorites. But
we have a lot of them. Walter probably has a lot of them too, huffing and puffing down there.
Yeah. He wasn't supposed to lie in this basket.
No, not at all. We stopped in Colorado. We stopped at a couple places, but we went to the Container Store to get some more of our favorite baskets.
They've been great for organizing the car, and so we have like larger ones than these that lie under the platform, and then we have a couple smaller ones that fit closer to the front of the platform, and then this one can go under as well. But we put it, this is kind of our like quick access box, and so we have any kind of gear that we might need very quickly, or lights at night, and we put our phones in here. We have our keys clipped on. It's very efficient.
And it's now an extension of Walter's bed, even though he has the entire platform back there.
Yeah. So he likes watching the road, so it's hard to. I want this experience to be as enjoyable as possible for him as he sits here and shakes. But I think we kind of lost this one in terms of getting him to go back to his bed.
He's all buckled in and everything, so as long as he's safe, I just want him to be the most comfortable he can be.
Yeah. But so food,
yes. So we actually got to try some new places in Fort Collins, which was really fun. We went to a new sandwich shop, and we went somewhere else new. Oh, went to a new taco truck. So that was fun.
That was your first time, right? At the taco truck?
I thought we went to the other taco truck. There are 2 taco trucks in the same parking lot.
Yeah.
And I thought we went to one last time. We went to a different one this time.
He only goes to that one.
Oh, just kidding. So one new restaurant in Fort Collins. Tacos were solid. What did we get? Oh, we got al pastor quesadilla and something else. Anywho, we ate a lot of really awesome food that we were nostalgic about. Spent a lot of money on food, and so that's been something we're aware of, unfortunately / fortunately.
We did also, we noticed that we ate a lot more unhealthy food in Wyoming than we thought we would initially. The first part of the trip, we were like doing really well in terms of being pretty light on what we were eating and how often, and then we got into Wyoming and it was cold and we kind of just had to sit in warm spaces and restaurants.
Ooh, look at the deer. Look at his nose. Okay, another tunnel. This one's quick. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Oh, that was a really bad count.
Dude. You drifted everything.
I drifted everything?
Yeah.
Did you hold your breath?
I did.
Okay, cool. Me too.
It's caught on camera. But, yeah, we realized that sitting inside restaurants is one of the only ways to stay warm.
Stop, that's so dramatic.
But it really kind of subconsciously might have been why we ate out a lot.
Yeah, it was a little bit of an excuse to go and see things, and using food as kind of an access point for culture. We usually try to find food that's quote unquote native to the place and highlights whatever that place is, and that's been very difficult for us,
especially in the United States.
Especially in the United States,
technically nothing here is native.
100%. And then we also didn't have a lot of internet access. What are all of these ski lifts? It's probably a ski town. That was kind of a dumb question, but that's cool.
Wolf Creek.
There's a lot of them though. I counted at least 6, and I can barely see. Anyhow, food. So we started eating out a lot. Most of it was comfort food. We ate a lot of pancakes.
Yeah.
We had barbecue in Yellowstone, which was surprisingly pretty good.
It was good. And then we went to Fort Collins, where again, you don't have that many options to not eat comfort food. And so we ate a lot more comfort food last week.
But I think no matter what, in Fort Collins, we had a list of the food that we definitely wanted to eat.
Yeah.
Which was pretty funny.
Yeah, we did. We made like the master list of places that we really had to go to. Tokabe being one of them.
Yes.
But
that was the only one we didn't go to, I think.
Yeah.
Thank you.
This is, to some extent, a bit of a honeymoon for us.
A honeymoon?
Yeah. A 10-year anniversary graduation
trip.
And so the idea of eating loads of comfort food in a week sounds like something one would do.
And then we had bread for dinner.
Yeah, we had, so now that we're back on kind of the old-fashioned style leg of this trip, we just ate some bread last night and then went to sleep. Had some empanadas.
Whoa, what is this? Oh, hairpin. I thought it was like the name of the curve. You are here. Okay, cool.
But so what's your like go-to genre?
For food?
Yeah. Like if you had to choose one to just kind of like dive deepest into.
Oh, I'm gonna cheat and say most often I will go for a subgenre of Asian food.
Okay. That's pretty broad.
Yes. If just on any given day, that's what we want. Or that's what I'd usually go for.
That's fair. I feel like that is kind of, that's one of the easiest genres to dive into in LA.
I was about to say, in LA, we've got our Vietnamese spot, we've got 2 Indian spots, we've got
a Burmese spot.
We've got a Burmese spot, we've got a couple of Chinese spots. And so, yeah, I think that's usually my go-to. I think I also really enjoy rice. I'm like avoiding your question. And so
You're
basically
really
anything that has rice, I will eat. So that's different cultures across the planet. One of my favorite things on Semester at Sea is when we were meeting all of each other we had a lot of people from all over the world, and all of us, one of the questions that they did as an icebreaker was, what's your favorite rice dish? And what's your nostalgic rice dish? And so that's always fun, because every culture has different rice dishes.
It's true. There are a lot of ways to answer that question.
So yeah, I eat a lot of rice in terms of like go-to things.
Something we'll probably be eating a lot of this summer.
Gosh, I hope this isn't shaking the GoPros.
Probably. It's probably more audio-wise, but that's fine.
But the mics are by your face.
It's the real experience.
The real experience of going down a really large hill.
Yeah.
Did we do the turn already? I didn't even see the ramps.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
I think the biggest downhill grade we've done so far was 9%. That was in Wyoming.
What about what about the one in Death Valley? That was pretty
steep.
Was that
not 9?
I have no idea. It's pretty steep.
It was pretty tough. 7, I feel like, is more common. I promise my brakes are safe, everybody.
Got them checked before we left. They are pretty
a little bumpy.
A little shaky.
Sometimes.
Yeah. So.
What's your food go-to genre? You can't cheat the question because I cheated the question.
I'm not going to cheat the question, but it's probably Mexican.
Fair.
And I think Mexican food, especially in the U.S., usually gets kind of boxed in as either Tex-Mex or like the classic Mexican-American. And
there's so much diversity in Mexican food.
Yeah, and so Mexican food is absolutely incredible. There's so many different subgenres of it. And so personally, I think that's my go-to, just because you can get literally anything you want, and you can go as indulgent or as light as you want as well.
That's true. Oh my God, I could throw down some ceviche right now.
I was just about to say ceviche, and now I didn't used to really like seafood, and I didn't really used to like, other than seafood, I didn't like raw fish as well, but now I love ceviche, and seafood in general I like, but Mexican seafood is incredible.
Yes, we've
ceviche.
had a lot of good Mexican seafood. Sorry, Car. McLovin just wants to make an appearance today.
Yeah. But it's quite good.
Yeah.
And so I would say, again, another like Southern California kind of cop-out answer is Mexican food, because it's one of the most easily accessible genres in LA.
I guess we definitely are spoiled in living in LA, but I think
we're spoiled in all the ways.
We're spoiled in all the ways, yes. But I'm thinking in terms of food.
Yeah. Like what do we have the best access to?
I was thinking about kind of what's the most spoiled scenario, and I think one of them is that like we can literally get Burmese and like the best Italian like in one day, you know?
It's true. I think something that is even more intense and exciting than that, though, is fusion food.
Yes.
And
man.
Fusion food, we have an Indian-Mexican spot.
I almost don't want to tell them, but we have to tell them.
It's called 23rd Street Cafe. It's by USC, and that was one of the things that I think got us through the last year of school. But they have tikka masala burritos. They also have a bunch of different fusion dishes, but...
Oh, that's fun. Passing lane ended. Sorry.
Nice. But their tikka masala burrito is...
to die for.
To die for. It's probably my favorite burrito.
And we show
hard
everybody.
For me to say
because
it's a fusion burrito, but it's probably my favorite burrito of all time.
It's so good. Apparently, okay, there's also the drama is that if you get it there, they slice it in half, and it's a mess, and it's beautiful, and it's fresh, and I love it. But if you get it to go, it's like more tightly wound.
I have a bit of an issue with cutting burritos in half, because it completely like undoes the entire point of a burrito, in my opinion, of like the convenience of all the food being contained.
But that's also because you can finish a 23rd Street burrito. I usually save my second half. I can
kill an entire chicken tikka masala burrito, and they're freaking huge. But I think the hard thing with those burritos, cutting them open, is they're a little bit goopier.
They're so goopy.
But they have it's rice,
tikka masala,
chicken tikka masala, and then rice and beans, and so and then they give you
all of the salsas. So there's the Mexican salsas and then the Indian salsa. I guess you can't really call them Indian salsas.
I mean, salsa just means sauce, so it works for the context of
all of the sauces are good.
All of the sauces. And then we get what else do we get there? We get like a
green coconut curry,
yeah,
solid.
Green coconut curry. We've had all of their paratha naan, like all of their breads are super good. You get a really good chai.
Chai, yeah, they have a Indian masala tea, and every Indian spot does their tea a little bit differently, and so their hot chai, solid. Chai also just means tea.
Yeah.
Fun fact.
And naan just means bread.
Naan just means bread. Is that true?
Yeah. Okay. When people say naan bread, they're basically saying bread. Bread. We also have another, I guess that's not really fusion. What's another good fusion spot? So our graduation party is on Saturday. And we got fusion tacos. Yeah. Which is a last minute find.
Mm-hmm.
Our taco plug fell through. And
I mean, they were just busy.
Yeah. Which is good for them.
We love for them, yeah.
We're excited for them. But we have had them bring Genkader tacos like at 3 different family events now.
Yeah.
And so when we were like, what are we gonna do? They're not available anymore.
Yeah.
And so now this is a Polynesian Mexican fusion catering situation.
And the family is Polynesian and Mexican, which is super cool.
Yeah, so we're really excited to try some more fusion stuff with them.
I think this might be kind of dumb, but it kind of just came to my brain of having the Polynesian and Mexican family, that I think inherently part of why we love fusion so much is that we are big multiracial, you know?
And the stories, I think, stories behind food are what make food that much more layered and exciting to eat. And something we want to do in the documentary space is make a short non-fiction series that highlights those kinds of stories. It'll be food focused, but instead of being specifically about the food, it'll be more about the families and the stories behind the restaurants and the dishes themselves, but not much of a like dude standing and trying the food and be like, this is amazing.
Hey, don't call out the homies.
Don't call out the entire Food Network.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's something we've always been really into food for a bunch of different reasons, and something we were talking about recently was soup, because soup
is so good.
It's a representation of all of a culture's regional cuisines thrown into a bowl with some water, and that's super exciting.
Or I guess not necessarily heated.
Not necessarily, that's true.
But spice?
But spice, yeah. It's basically just like, I mean, I'm sure soups.
Okay, what are your favorite soups? Hold on, big pause. What are your favorite soups?
Pozole, number 1. And back to Mexican being my go-to. Pozole is probably the best soup I have ever had in my life. And I've had it at a few different places. There's one place called Spanglish Kitchen in South Pasadena. Is it technically not Pasadena?
Alhambra?
Might be Alhambra, yeah, but it's really, really good. Their enmoladas are really good too.
Focus on soup.
Okay. Pozole number 1. Great soup. I would say after pozole, a good bowl of meatball pho is probably my next go-to soup. I've always been into ramen, but I feel like ramen is so heavy that I have to like really prepare to like throw down a bowl of ramen. Because my problem is most food that I eat, I can't not finish even if I'm full. And so I really have to like plan out how I'm gonna approach a meal, or else I'll just eat too much in a day. So with things like ramen, I kind of have to like plan my day around that being like the culmination of my food experience for the day.
Why, you might ask, Stevie cannot just stop eating food and save it for later is a question for the ages.
Absolutely no idea. I think it's just that like dopamine release of each bite where you're like, wow, that was a great bite. And so even when you're full, it's like, well, it's in front of me still, so I might as well just like keep enjoying it.
I think that's another part about food and why food and culture is so important, is that communal eating is so important. Think about like school, like everybody's favorite time was lunchtime, right?
That's true.
I'm trying to think of other things. When we were in Morocco, we did a homestay. San Juan National Forest. I didn't even know we were in the San Juan National Forest.
We are now? Oh.
No, we're leaving.
It said leaving?
Yeah.
Okay.
Anywho. When we were with our host families, we would do dinner every night. Big communal food experience.
It's great.
And I think that, yeah, communal food is so important, which is why, like, we love our taco dudes, and we're super loyal to our taco dudes.
Yeah.
Because we had it with our families, and when we have gatherings.
Yeah, they're super nice. I like hanging out with them.
They're also super nice, yes. But I'm talking about the psychological things of eating with other people.
That's true. That's true. But soup is a good one, communally, I'm sure. I mean, just
Communal soup?
A big pot of soup. Serve the whole community.
Yeah, I guess soup.
But again, regional eats, soup is a big one. What are your favorite soups?
I love like a good corn chowder. We've been talking about that with like sausage, like more Cajun style corn chowder. Delicious. Love pho. Yes. I don't know if a porridge is considered a soup.
It's in the same category.
I love different variations of rice porridges, various names, so I'll kind of leave that be. Soup. There's a spicy Vietnamese stew that I usually get instead of pho when we're at our Vietnamese spot, which is John's. It's not called John's. It's Saigon Dish. John is the homie. The best Vietnamese food in LA, my opinion. I've been eating there for over a decade now, which is kind of crazy to think about.
It is really good.
Fantastic.
Nostalgia is a huge factor of, I
Food.
think, why we go to a lot of restaurants so often, but that restaurant in particular, the food hits right every time.
Yes. But I usually get spicy beef stew there. I'm trying to think of other soups. Oh my gosh, Little La Lune, the Cambodian soups. I don't know what it's called.
I think on their menu it just says like beef noodle soup or something.
Probably.
But yeah, Cambodian style soups, incredible.
I'm trying to think of any other ones. We were talking about clam chowder the other day, and I've got thoughts on clam chowder, but I can't say I've had a lot of really good clam chowder. I've had a lot of very
thoughts
okay.
on clams and mussels
I was like,
general.
that negates your opinion from clam chowder.
It does.
What else? What other soups do I like?
Lobster bisque.
Lobster bisque, and I can make a mean lobster bisque too, not to toot my own horn. Look at all those geese. We're in the bottom of this valley. We're no longer shaking down in the 7% grade behind a truck. That's always fun. But we're in this valley, and it's super green, and there's a lot more people, which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of geese, and there's water down here.
Passed by the Rio Grande.
Yes, a little earlier.
I think we're following an offshoot of it now.
I thought I saw a thing for Bear River.
Okay.
But I was saying that the elevation we were learning about in both Rocky and Death Valley with the alpine, the subalpine, and the last one. I did great in school. But talking about the different elevations and all the different wildlife and the different meadows, because if you haven't been to Rocky, it's full of all of these beautiful meadows surrounded by all of these massive 14ers.
Road was closed.
Yeah, road was closed.
What was it called? The trail something?
I don't know.
Trail Ridge Road?
Yeah, that was it. Trail Ridge Road.
Yeah, we're used to it at this point, but that one was tough.
It was cold.
It was open 2 days before.
Yes.
And so we were like, we're going to get there.
It was going to be open later in the day. It was going to be open at noon after they replowed it.
We had to make it to the dunes.
We had to make it to the dunes.
Which was worth it. The dunes were intense.
Yeah. It's a wild sight.
And it's a fairly new national park, too.
2004.
And so
they're new things. The dunes are only 440,000 years old.
Super.
I haven't seen a hitchhiker this whole trip.
No. That was the first one. San Juan River.
Beautiful. Anyway, Rocky was cool, even though it was cold. We've got a lot of experience, memories. I love Rocky National Park, and I didn't mind as much, and kind of with all the other roads being closed, I didn't mind as much because I knew I was going to be back.
Yeah. And we saw a moose. Made it all worth it.
Yes, it was a big moose. And then we saw another big moose on the way down. Stevie didn't see that one.
I saw, like, the tip of its antlers. Oh, my sneeze. I'm going to do it.
But also, bless you, talking about missing things, quote unquote, when we got to the sand dunes, it was mad packed and the campground was full. And so we've been stopping and camping in national parks when we can, because that's cool.
But
it was
beyond
full.
Land.
It was full, and we thought that it'd be fine after Memorial Day, but we were wrong.
And the part of the Great Sand Dunes National Park being so new is the fact that all of their campsites that are in the national park are primitive sites. And
Not
so
all of them.
Most of them.
Yes.
And they're all tucked away in the back, and there's like one road that is both sand and dirt, and it gets harder to drive the further in you go. And so we reached a certain point where it says unless you have four-wheel drive, not all-wheel drive, but four-wheel drive.
I don't even know the difference.
I don't either, to be honest.
But McLovin is all-wheel drive. And served us well on some bumpy roads, but...
yeah.
We ended up going to some BLM land. And so we started our trip staying on some BLM land. That was incredible. And we saw another campsite as we were driving in. It's called Zapata Falls. And they had they had an official campsite, which a lot of BLM land doesn't. I guess a lot might be an overstatement. But usually it's just open land that you can use, and you have to make sure you have permits and stuff. But the campsite was full too, and so we pulled off on the side of the road and camped. Car camped.
And ate bread.
And ate bread for dinner because we didn't want to start a fire. There was also a fire ban.
And there was not a lot of light left.
Wasn't a lot of light. We were running around trying to get the things done.
Because we wanted to go see the dunes, and we knew that we couldn't really do them this morning.
Yes.
And so we were like, let's go see the dunes now. We have like an hour or so of light left. And so we ran up like to the dunes themselves, and there's like
so cool.
There's water and stuff, so we got pretty dirty, and the dog got pretty dirty.
The dog had fun.
The dog did have fun. And so, yeah. If you ever go to the dunes, bring a jacket, bring a hat.
People had goggles and bandanas, and I said, man, that was smart.
Yeah, and probably wear sandals or chacos instead of closed-toe shoes.
Or barefoot. Just avoid sand in your sneakers.
Yeah.
And then people were sledding. People sled on the dunes. And so I saw a range of things. There was cardboard. There was actual sleds. I saw a Tupperware lid. I saw something else that was really funny.
And I wasn't paying attention to any of that stuff.
The wind started picking up though, and I got nervous about the dog. So
yeah, we were getting sand in our faces, that's for sure.
It was super cool. And it's also framed by all of these beautiful mountains.
There's a snow-capped mountain on one end, and then there's like a forest on one end, and then there's plains on the other end.
So it's a beautiful place.
And the dunes are gigantic.
Yes, they're the largest in both height. Yeah, in North America, in both height and official square mileage. So even though the park isn't as big, the actual dunes themselves are 330 square miles, which is pretty cool, especially for being less than 500,000 years old.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was a fun one. It was so weird though. We were, what are we doing? This is strange, and now we're back in forest.
Yeah. So I think I prefer the forest. The plains are cool.
The plains are cool. They're just a little exposed.
Yeah. It was weird though to be driving in and it take so long to get to something that we could see because the land was so flat. So we're like, okay, there are the dunes.
Why is it going to take us an hour to get there?
Yeah. But that's just flat land for you, I guess. And you can see what's coming up. So what's up?
The things you learn.
Things you learn. Speaking of being somewhere, we're at 2.5 hours.
From Mesa Verde?
Yep.
That's cool.
We're going to get there right at noon.
Perfect. We're going to have lunch at Mesa Verde and hang out, maybe go on a trail if Walter's allowed.
Go see Four Corners.
We'll go to Four Corners, and then we're going to start our dino hunt.
We're going to go see some dinosaur tracks.
But that's for the next episode.
Yes. After Four Corners. Where we can step in 4 states at once.
What are we having for lunch?
I don't know. Speaking of food, are we going to cook? Are we going to find something?
We can cook. I got some more mini Duralogs at the gas station, and so we can make a sandwich.
Just have peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
But like toasted. We could have pasta and eat heavier lunch. What else do we have back there?
It's a lot of carbs.
Oh yeah, we told y'all about our pit stop in Boise. We got a lot of food. What is this dude doing? Is he telling us to pass him? I don't know what these hand signals mean.
No. I don't think so. He might have just been stretching his hand too.
I guess that's fair. Anyway, we brought a lot of pantry things. We left some stuff with Jeremy and Max. It's our friends we were staying with. We left them a lot of sugar that we bought. Because I feel like I might have brought this up already on a podcast, but we had dark chocolate peanut butter cups for Trader Joe's, and those are the best. But we left them.
They're very dangerous.
Because we would eat all of them in 3 days.
Did we bring the Scandinavian swimmers?
We did.
Those things are far worse. Those things are far more dangerous.
But I think it was because we already also had chocolate and peanut butter.
That's fair.
That's a big cow, yo. Look at those.
That is a fat cow.
We saw a bison herd this morning in Del Norte, Colorado, which was very random for us.
They're supposed to be there, though, which is cool.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, finally, we see some bison in some plains.
But what else do we bring? What do we need to eat? The snacks are awesome. We've got nuts and cranberries and coconut and granola bars and
Brought a lot of snacks.
Oatmeal.
Didn't bring a lot of not snacks.
We've got soup. Speaking of soup, we've got chicken noodle soup. We ate the chicken and wild rice. That was good.
It's true. We could see.
There's ramen.
We're gonna be driving through the Navajo Nation.
Dang.
There could be some really good food.
There could be some really good food.
This may be our only chance.
Dang. Is this truck finally leaving us?
I think that's not a passing lane, bro.
That's definitely not a passing lane.
Yep, you're going to the lumber shop.
Sweet. I think it's probably dropping off lumber, homie.
Yeah. Cool.
Alright.
Got rid of the truck.
Bye, truck. Look at those ponies. Pretty friends.
Yeah, I think going and getting some food in Navajo would be cool.
You have to do your research ahead of time, because if we don't eat at Mesa Verde, then we gotta stop somewhere else, you know?
That's true. That's true.
Which means we're probably just gonna eat snacks all day and have something for dinner.
Bread for dinner.
Bread. The bread was really good. There's a new bake. Oh, that's what it was. The bakery's new.
Yep.
I knew there was two new things. The bakery in Fort Collins is new. They specialize in sourdough, and we did a cookout one night. Cookout's a little dramatic, but we grilled.
It was a cookout.
It was like just the four of us.
Yeah.
Anyway, we did a cookout. Made some meats that we bought from campus, actually. Colorado State's a huge ag school, and so they have a meat shop. But, yeah, which I think is always fun. And it's pretty solid meat.
Yeah, it was good.
So, we had meat, elote. Stevie made a salad. But we got this bread.
My freaking salad, dude.
Yes, your salad. It was okay.
It was so okay. Oh, it was so disappointing.
Does this dude want me to pass him?
I think we want us to pass him, but...
There's a truck coming now.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Goat cheese salad.
Goat cheese salad was very okay. Mac and cheese was very okay.
All the cheese-related things.
Roasted garlic sourdough slapped.
That was really good.
And so we have some of it still that we're going to put some wild honey on. Am I turning?
No, you're staying on 160. Hopefully the
That's
bike is turning. Just kidding.
I think the bike's doing just fine. Oh, another set of hitchhikers.
Very interesting.
Oh, Pagosa Springs. Oh, that's cool. I know where we are. I've never been here, but I've heard of Pagosa Springs.
I've only seen it on a map.
Gas is going up, friends. All these touristy spots. Dang, dang, dang. What is that?
What?
Is that a taco truck? I see a trailer with food.
Tacos and burritos.
Dang, dang, dang. It's 9:30. It's okay.
Oh, thank God. I would throw down a burrito right now before 9:30. That's good.
All of these backpackers are so funny. We will be them one day.
Museum, malt shop.
I like malt. Which river is this? The San Juan River.
San Juan, okay.
Beautiful.
Truly.
Walter's been doing better in the water. I know we talked about him being not thrilled when we were at that spot in Idaho. But when we were in Fort Collins, I put his life jacket on and threw him in the river. He did pretty good.
Threw him in the river.
That's what I said.
Yeah, but I'm saying he's more comfortable with the water when he's thrown into it.
Well, once I threw him into it, he swam back, and then he walked into a different part and had a good time. So
he did walk through the running water yesterday.
Yes,
without
which was
much of a
very
problem.
impressive. Wow, there's a lot of things happening in this town.
Yeah,
Both
it's a lot bigger than I thought it would be.
I knew Pagosa Springs was going to be a little bigger. Del Norte was also bigger than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
There's a lot of smells. Walter, are you farting? Or is this the outside? Bro.
That does smell like a Walter fart.
Bro.
My nose is pretty congested so the only whiff I could get was pretty bad.
This is pretty cool.
Yeah.
I'm really sad that you're farting right now. Are you okay? You're so sweet. Why are you the sweetest? This basket is not your house.
You can fit in it though.
I know,
just
we
put
might
them
have
in
to
the
get
basket.
one. Yeah, we might have to get another one of these and...
Just place him in it?
No, we'll make it comfy.
Oh, traffic.
Traffic? Right lane is closed. I think it was just a stoplight.
Oh yeah, they're doing construction. God, I feel like I'm still waking up. My energy level is not amazing.
I think you're doing great, my dude.
I'm trying my best.
We wore hats today because we realized we looked a little greasy in the last one.
A little is an understatement
I'm trying to
for
be
me,
nice.
But you looked good in the last one.
Thank you.
I was struggling.
I think you looked fine, although I didn't look at the footage. So.
It's going to be pretty funny. I think you're going to laugh.
Or maybe that dude is stretching, because now he's stretching again. It's been interesting watching a lot of the bigger touristy towns prepare for the summer season, because we're still pretty early, which obviously has been a theme. The biker's from Oklahoma. I wonder if he's going back to Oklahoma. Oh, I guess that's the wrong direction.
Yeah, I was like, no. You never know.
Rainbow gift shop.
We've been getting a sticker from every national park we've gone to.
It looks cool. It's on the platform.
Although we didn't get Death Valley or Great Basin.
Because everything was closed.
That's true. Death Valley, though, we could have. I got a coaster.
You did get a coaster.
Should have gotten a sticker, too, but we hadn't thought of it yet.
We can turn the coaster into a sticker.
What else do you want to talk about? I feel like we've gone dormant.
Dormant? What food does Walter eat?
The best that a dog can eat.
Walter used to have some tummy problems as he smacks back in the day, so we had to switch his diet to find something a little bit better for him. And for a while, I was that dog parent that cooked his food for him.
That's not a negative thing. I think that was pretty cool.
I mean, it was a lot of freaking work, and it was pretty expensive.
Really
it was just
bad.
Yeah, it was tough.
I think the biggest problem was how much that got made at once.
But I didn't have time to do it not in bulk.
That's fair. But yeah, it smelled really bad.
Yes, Walter now eats a pretty solid kibble from Public Goods. We like Public Goods. That he's been enjoying for the past couple of years. Yeah. Because we stopped cooking for him in the pandemic when we moved into our parentals' homes.
And couldn't stink up the house.
And so for this trip, we brought him some shelf-stable versions of the bougie food and then his normal kibble. And so he's been chilling, but he's had a lot of the shelf-stable, nicer food. It's like a treat for him. But it's also why his breath is really stinky and probably why he's farting. So
that's true.
There we go.
There you go.
Walter's food adventure.
It's true.
We have salmon treats for him, and then we have CBD treats for him. I don't know if they do anything, but he likes them. They're like peanut butter CBD treats.
They're supposed to relax him, but he's usually pretty relaxed anyway, so it's hard to tell when he's actually relaxed.
But he really likes them. I think he likes the CBD ones better than the other ones are salmon. He likes the CBD ones better, I think.
I'm sure.
And then we also got him these teeth chew bone things. And so that's Walter's pantry.
Yeah.
He stays well fed for anyone who is nervous. He eats a lot less with us because all of the grandparents treat him a lot, and we don't really treat him that much.
No. He does get pretty fat from time to time.
My chunky boy.
For now, he's looking good.
Yeah. We went to the vet before we left.
Getting a lot of exercise.
Yes, he loves running through trails, which is so funny, and we didn't think it would happen at all. But we have videos of him running in the dunes yesterday. It was pretty fun.
You had fun at the dunes.
We're learning...
Sonic.
We're learning / teaching as a collective family how Walter can be off-leash. I think we'll get there eventually. What do you think, little boy?
I don't know about that, but we'll get close. He can be off-leash in a backyard now, which I guess he always could have been,
But we didn't have a yard.
Yeah, we didn't. That's true.
What?
That's very true.
But we worked on letting him be off leash in the Gray residence's yard, which is nice.
Because we tried back in the day at Park La Brea, and that was always a bust.
Chaotic.
Because he would just sprint
away,
very far away, and I'd have to go run and chase him.
I'm pretty sure you chasing him didn't help.
Well, yeah, once you start running behind him,
it's a game.
It's a game, and then he will run as fast as he can. But then he coughs and he has to stop, but then you can kind of like tackle him and put him away.
Walter, I feel like this is like distracted driving you, even though you're loving it. Wow, that's a beautiful park. Is it a golf course? Where are we? Aspen Village.
Aspen Village Drive.
Got it.
I think Aspen Village is this little like market place.
Got it.
We might still be in the Springs.
Pagosa Springs?
Yeah. But I don't know.
There's a Walmart. We don't go to Walmart.
Yeah, we're still in Pagosa.
That's cool.
That's crazy. It's a big place.
Fun. My tummy started rumbling because we were talking about food.
Yeah, that may not have been our best move. There's this Nature Valley bar that's left.
I will eat the Nature Valley bar, but not on the mic because that's rude.
Is it time to sign off? We're at
It might be time to sign off.
50 minutes.
Oh yeah, it definitely is time to sign off. Walter, do you have anything to say to our friends? Cool.
What a guy.
Thank you everyone for being on the road with us today.
Have a great rest of your day. Do your best, because that's all that matters.
That was really nice.
Waking up this morning can be enough. Just do what makes you happy. Eat some good food.
Eat some good food, please.
Get some sleep, rest, drink a lot of water, and we'll see you on the next one.
Oh, sorry, I left you hanging. I was holding the water bottle.
Sometimes you do that,
I know,
and I wave,
I know.
and then this time
Do you want to do it again? 1,